Hello, this is another episode of Sip to the Script. I'm your humble host, young Seaka, and today we have a very special guest in the house. Please, could you introduce yourself for the camera?
You know it's your boy Sefa, SEFA, for legends that's it,
And please, could you introduce you the drink that you brought in today? Usually a lot of, rappers, the lifestyle, you know what I mean, is to drink, you know what I mean, and go in. But today we have root beer. So please, could you explain to me how that was so relevant as to who you are?
Because I could have brought, some liquor, but that's not really what I don't really,
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather have a little root beer, nice sip it. But root beer I like because a lot of people don't like it, actually. And a lot of people hate on it. But I'm going to still drink it, you know what I'm saying?
Showing love.
Yeah, shout out root beer. Root beer's actually held it down for a while. So.
Yeah, no, and honestly, bro, I've heard from you from very, I'd say, reliable sources, in the city, people that I feel like have a lot of respect from their peers.
Right.
You know what I mean? I wouldn't put their names out there if I didn't feel like they were comfortable, but like people that I know that publicly vouch for you, like Quincy.
Yeah.
And Deja, like, you know what I mean? There's definitely people that like are appreciative of what you bring to the table, you know what I mean? Yeah, no.
Yo.
How did that relationship kind of spur?
That I don't like. It's one of those like we just all got so close, and it's like I don't even really remember how it all happened, but like I think actually for me and Deja, it was kind of like she was actually the first person I performed with.
Oh.
She's the person that kind of got me to like perform for real.
Really?
Yeah, we did like a Black History Month poem at school type thing. And that was like my first ever performance.
What grade was that in?
That was grade. I think it was grade 12.
Grade 12?
Grade
Okay.
11. I'm not even sure. But yeah, after that performance, I was like, whoa, like I actually.
You felt in your element.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, this is what I want to do, like. And then Quincy, she introduced me to Quincy, like, I don't know. I think one day at the mall, we just ran into each other, saw them, and then after that, just started being closer, and then we just kept. Because we all do the same kind of thing, like.
No, definitely.
And stuff,
Yeah, definitely. The art form of, you know what I mean, being able to write a good storyline.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Something that you feel like emotion is directly connected to you. You know what I mean? I just definitely feel like you're well-rounded in the city. If I'm gonna do this for myself,
Yeah.
No, but let's speak a bit more about you. You know what I mean? Like, how was your upbringing in the city?
Yeah. Well, I grew up in the South.
What's your background?
My background, both my parents were born in Ghana.
Okay, Ghana. Okay.
So they came here. Actually, today's their anniversary, to be honest.
Say a word.
The day of this interview is their anniversary.
Shout out Mama
to them,
Sefa.
Shout out to them. But yeah, they moved. I always lived in GB. I lived around like.
Oh, GB.
Yeah. I lived around like Bloom area for a bit, and then I moved to like Johnston area. So man's been.
And how was it for you to like live in the South? Because I kind of had this conversation with a lot of other artists, in the scene that are from the South. But one thing I can tell is that in the South, not for everybody, but like for a big majority of people, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, it's a rough environment, especially growing up. Now it's a bit different. The city's not the same as it used to be, or not everywhere.
Yeah.
But growing up in the South, it wasn't always super easy, you know what I mean? How did you feel? How was your upbringing in the South?
Mine, it wasn't too bad. Like, I wasn't really exposed to a lot of things that would kind of like, I don't know, make me feel as if I'm like, like struggling or a lot. Like, my parents did well. Like, they always like made sure we felt like we were Gucci all the time, and then like, yeah, mostly it's funny because like when I was growing up, I grew up and like what I was doing, I was like a skateboarder. I was listening to like different music. Like
for sure.
I was in like.
What are some of your inspirations in terms of music?
In terms of music, wow, that's crazy. Number one, A Boogie with the Hoodie, man.
Really?
Mr. Bag on. See what? I always gotta keep it, even if you can't see it.
So that's kind of crazy because he's a recent artist, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember me growing up, I kind of looked up to people like Lil Wayne and stuff like that. And like, I don't know, from your perspective, when do you feel like those type of artists kind of took the forefront of music?
Yeah. Well, like, I always listen. I always feel like when I was growing up, I was listening to a lot of music. So it's like, I don't know. I just when I was growing up, I didn't really have like one artist that I just like super like mess with. I just kind of had a lot of people that I listened to a bunch of different music. But like I think once I started like pinpointing an artist is kind of when I started like being an artist myself. And it's like it's more like
it's a personal connection almost.
It's more like a connection because like A Boogie's like the type of guy like. He could be vulnerable as hell on the track. Talk about, this girl broke my heart. That's true. He could talk about how he
puts the hoodie on.
It's like, yo, who did that? Like, yeah, he's just so crazy. And I just like listening to him. You know?
From that collective, definitely. I think they're them also. They're well-rounded. Originated in New York, High Bridge. That's like Don Q also is one of my favorite. He gets busy on the mic. I'm not gonna lie, but that collective is really nice.
Busy, bro.
That whole collective. I really like what they're doing. But no, the fact that you have inspiration like that, says so a lot about your own music too. You know.
For sure.
Before we jump into that, you also moved to Toronto recently.
Yeah.
How was that experience to live in Toronto?
It was different for sure.
Was for school, yeah?
Yeah, I moved there for school. You know, but you know how that go. But when I moved there, it's a whole different like environment. Like literally, the difference between being in Ottawa and being in Toronto, it's like people say they feel different or they feel it different. Like it's actually a different vibe that you feel, and it's like it's either you're gonna like fall victim to that lifestyle of like getting caught up in it, or like you're gonna take it and just like let it. For me, I felt like I let it build me more because it's like being around people who are so inspired and like people who are always trying to do their thing and like they don't care what people say, like they don't care nothing. It's like you start to kind of adopt that too, you know?
Yes,
people
I know.
Dress how they want. People do what, like people literally do whatever. They don't care what someone has to say, you know? And it's like
really open-minded.
You keep like once you see that and it's like your mind's open to that. It's like that's just how you start to be. It's like,
who are some of those people you would say that you round yourself with in Toronto?
Shout out my main man, M Wills, my dog Matthew. That's like my dog. Like that's my dog. The first man that I came to Toronto and I did a little performance. And, like they sent it. Someone who was watching sent it to him right away, and then he just started like talking to me, whatever. And we were like in a club at school and stuff. And it's like we just always chop it up on music, basketball, anything. And it's like we just started getting that bond. And then he like, in terms of my music stuff, like he handles a lot of the stuff that like personally that makes me easier for like. Gives me the chance to focus more on the music, and he does like he focuses like he just blesses me, you know. And then
so would you say that you work with him in terms of like what you feel like you're gonna start catering to the people in terms of music?
100%.
So he's very instrumental to that.
Like so instrumental.
But I feel like even in that scene in Toronto, I feel like the people that do these types of creative stuff, you know what I mean? I feel like your affiliations go even way past that. Even the people you were able to meet up, I feel like the art crew, you know what I mean? Some of these people in Toronto, or even those people that I've seen you do videos on YouTube, the Q&As almost, you know what I mean? Right. I forget their name, if you could remind me.
Enough God and guys.
Yeah, these guys, you know what I mean? I feel like you were able to round yourself of a network also in Toronto.
For sure. Yeah. That was one of the biggest things, like being connected to people, because it's like you meet so many different kind of people, and it's like if you can connect to a bunch of people that have the same kind of vibe as you, it's crazy,
Then a bit more about your music, you know what I mean? I'd like to hop into that. When did you start making music, actually? Like seriously, when did you feel like you know what I'm gonna start like
making music? Okay, well, it's funny. I released a track in grade 7. That's when I was like, okay, I'm a rapper. I said grade 7, yo, I'm a rapper. Like, I'm gonna do this because I'll always be that kid. I'm just performing tracks, like, memorizing songs and stuff. You know, so I'm like, yo, I'm gonna put a song, write something. And then, so I did that grade 7, and then like 2016. Once I moved to Toronto, actually the month after I moved to Toronto, I dropped a track. When I came back to Ottawa for like a visit, I just dropped a track. And then that's when I was like, okay, I'm actually might start doing this. And then once I dropped that EP with my cousin, that Frostbite EP with my cousin.
With Frigo?
Yeah. Those was one of those where it's like, yo, this is so nice. Like, if I don't blow up off this, like, and then like, obviously, No Man's didn't like. Just the results that I saw obviously didn't come right away. So I'm like, yo, if that's what I want, then
you
gotta
actually
work at it, take it serious. And then like, from then, that's when it started like, I'm actually gonna, if this is what I'm gonna be doing, then
you're gonna take it to the next level.
Next level, exactly. You have to like.
And that music stuff, when you started doing it with your cousins and stuff like that, how do you feel about the kind of music you were releasing? What was the feedback that you were getting from the people around you?
Yeah, people were actually people were showing a lot of love, like genuine love, like saying and sharing it and stuff. And it's like, yo, like you man actually have bars, whatever, this that. And it's like once you have that little extra boost, whatever, it's like okay, now I can actually do this, you know.
The root beer, I got you.
Yeah. Once you have that little extra like confidence boost, it's like, yo, you're gonna go in the booth, you're gonna spit harder next time. You're gonna go on the track, you're gonna tell them, yo, make this like this, you know. And it's like,
what would you say about your content matter? Like the type of music you release, like how do you feel about it?
Like right now?
Yeah, like what do you feel like you rap a bit more about your own experiences, or do you feel like you rap a bit more about like your emotions? Like where do you center the subject matter of your raps?
What's out right now was kind of just like putting raps out to be like just to rap, you know. But like the stuff I've been like working on, like doing, it's more like moods and emotions and like stories and like, but it's still like something you want to listen to type stuff, you know. It's like,
and so do you feel like that type of music that you're going to be releasing is also with your Frigo?
Definitely. Me and him, like we can go back and forth no matter what. Like that's family still. Like we can actually go back and forth no matter what in the booth, whatever. So us definitely we're gonna have definitely some stuff like. And
so, some of the people in the city that inspire you, because like I know that an advantage that you would have is also that you're from Toronto. But you're also from Ottawa a bit, you know what I mean?
No,
so like
I'm from Ottawa. Ottawa's from 613. Like that's I'm born and raised in Ottawa, but like living in Toronto definitely like had a huge
impact on you.
Huge impact.
Yeah,
for sure. I feel like, to be honest, if I hadn't moved there, like I don't think I would have been doing what I'm doing as seriously as I am. You know?
Just felt more comfortable with that. Yeah,
and like just like being on your own and like growing up and stuff.
No, but I definitely agree with you. I feel like living alone and stuff like that, you get to know yourself a bit more out of that environment,
100%.
From your house and your family.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
You learn so much about yourself that you never would have even like, you know, realized.
Yeah, no, definitely. And then about your upcoming work also, do you feel like you're about to drop soon, or like how do you feel about the scheme? Like what type of scheme do you feel like you're trying to build before being able to drop your work?
I know what I want to do is obviously drop quality, of course, like quality, you know. But I also want to be consistent, because quality you can drop quality and then, you know, and then fall off, whatever. But it's like
if you have a catalog to drop
quality and consistent quality, you know. So it's like, for me, I'm the type of person I want to get a lot of stuff to that level so I can just do what I want with it, you know? Yeah.
And you felt really proud about your Ottawa heritage, you know what I mean? So like, how do you feel about the scene that's kind of bubbling up in the city, you know what I mean?
Yo, just thinking about it, the Ottawa scene, yo, it makes me so happy. Like, I get excited talking about it, because it's like, yo, if you think about it, Toronto's there. Different cities are there. Ottawa as a city, we're not there yet, but the people who can control it and who can make us go there, that group, like that collective of creatives, of people who want to do stuff in the city, like, and just everyone who's doing their thing like 100%, we are literally in control of changing the city. And it's like, bro, like, we'll literally like have a legacy after that. Like, we're literally changing the city from what it was, and we all grew up knowing what it was, and then we're gonna see how it changes because of what we've done, you know?
Exactly.
Like,
makes you proud, eh?
Yo, that's crazy. It's like, yo, we changed the city for real. Like, that's all we're trying to do.
How did you remember it back in the days when you were growing up?
Ottawa's always been like, I don't know, that quiet OC transpo, like
government
buses, government city, like you have a 1-2 fun. Nothing out of the ordinary, you know? Nothing out of like, nothing that will be like, wow, that's crazy, you know? Parliament, you go there, you only go there so many times, you know? But yeah, like Ottawa's just always been.
And how do you feel about it right now, that people feel?
Right now, I just feel like the time we're in, and the people who's there, and the people who are investing time in this, it's like Ottawa is on such a wave that we're just waiting for that wave to crash over, and it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Like, it's a wrap from there. Like, because it's everyone. Like, everyone's literally doing their thing. Everyone's doing, and
they're just connecting in the best way. I feel like,
and like that hate or whatever is diminishing. People are actually like, okay, you're doing
collabing together.
That's sick. Yeah, and that's just the start.
I feel like that was a big difference that I felt that I saw in your collective of people. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say that you guys were like way younger, but I feel like a lot of people that I know in that circle, you know what I mean, are from a different era, and they tend to support each other 10 times harder than other people. You know what I mean? To show love for them, it's not like a big out of the ordinary. It's just how they grew up doing it. You know what I mean? And they show appreciation. I feel like when I was growing up, it was completely different. You know what I mean? I feel like people did have their circles and like the people that supported their music, but to have a collective of people that openly support you, you know what I mean, that play your music on streaming services and stuff like that, and that play them at party, it's a complete shift. And like, it's funny because shout out to Nick. I remember when Nick put me on, you know what I mean, to your music and stuff like that, and I was like, it's insane. Like, the fact that people outwardly do it, and are proud about it too. You know what I mean? I think it's a great thing. Yeah. So you're definitely well rounded. Definitely.
Yeah, for sure. Yo, it's like,
who are some of the people that you'd say in the city that you'd be the most proud to be a part of the same scene?
Same scene, like everyone that's doing their thing, but obviously especially like Deja, you already know, Q, Ruby, JoJo with his art, Leah Cloud.
Yeah, like, Leah Cloud. You seen the 6 buzzes?
63K on the ground. That's crazy.
No,
Leah Cloud, and Ice World, the whole Ice World, bro. Penny, MT, like. Just all the people they already know. Like,
I feel like the stuff is a strong scene right now.
It has such a strong scene, and it's like all the GB mans, everyone in the South. Like,
you still better, guys. Don't do this. Don't do this.
but everyone, the people who know, like they know, like those are my people. Like for real. Yeah.
No, and it's good because like I feel like a lot of people from that circle are well rounded. You know what I mean? You, of course. I see you on social media having that kind of presence and let people know. It's like you haven't dropped in a long, but everybody that talks about you is able to vouch for you.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean?
Shout out to the people. Like, people actually, I don't know. Yeah, I feel like it's just how things work. Like if you're doing genuine things, if you're being real, that same energy is gonna come back to you. You know, like, and I feel like that's just what it's been. Like, I just been real with people. I don't try. If I don't fuck with you, I don't fuck with you. So,
and then at the end of the day, you know what I mean, you're gonna start dropping music again. It's gonna be hopefully, like you said, more consistent.
Of course.
Where do you see yourself taking this music thing at the end of the day?
All the way up, fam. The stories are endless, bro. Like, it's in my head every day. Like, I see it every day. And like, there's so many, and just the fact of like seeing people that are kind of close to me or close to me doing it, it's like, yo, like I could do this kind of thing, you know? Like, it's crazy. Like, Night Lavelle, bro, this guy's going all across the world selling out shows. That's crazy, bro. Like, having crowds going crazy. And it's like, why can't we be doing that? You know? Exactly. Like, I want to be doing that. Like, this guy's doing that. That's crazy. I want to be doing that. I want people to be messing with my music on that level where they're turning up, they're lining up to be at a show just to listen to what mans have to do, and and just the performing element is just just gotta have so much fun with it. Yeah.
Definitely gonna have to invite me to your next performance. So I'll definitely need a taste of that. Thank you very much again for coming through, Sefa.
For sure.
That was another episode of Sip to the Script. I want to thank you again, my guest, for coming through, and we out.